Good morning, my friends. When I close my door, I'll fade into anonymity. Okay, so today we're going to talk about a few topics. And once the light goes out, you're just going to hear me like a radio, like the old style radio show, because I don't have enough time to do anything else. And like I said, a lot of times my videos have to come early in the morning. And so that's what's going to happen today. Turn down my air conditioner so you can't see it. So this is just going to be kind of like a old radio show. And we're going to get into it. Well, first thing I want to go into, and now a long time ago, I used to have a lot of things that I was interested in. CERN was one of them. And now way back when this was like, and now CERN had been built and set up years and years and years ago. But when they ramped it up, wasn't that long ago. And so they had a homepage, which I don't think I can go to anymore. I wish I would have saved it. And you could actually go on there and see when they ramped up the collider. And it was kind of funny because every time all the lights were green, something would go down. A big earthquake in Europe somewhere. Oh my God, this place got an earthquake. But what it was they were ramping up CERN. Well, I don't think you can get to that page anymore. Now there's two more little topics that I'm going to chunk in here. One of them is, now NASA has said and confirmed, and I don't know whether that's this month, which is kind of interesting to me, because if it's in October or November, that's kind of where my mind was leading with a lot of things. And I'll tell you why. Now, I hate getting into things like this, because this is it's not to me, it's not a fairy tale, but to others it could be. And one of my things is that there's a cartoonist named Charles Schulz, and I made sure to research him. And sure enough, old Snoopy's dad was a Mason, right? Well, Snoopy's dad's got that famous cartoon that comes on every year about this little boy who goes to a pumpkin patch and he waits to see this pumpkin come and all this other stuff, and he tries to tell his girlfriend that the pumpkin is real and it's going to come and it's big and oh wow, wait till you see it and it's going to bring all these gifts. And as a little kid, I kind of liked that, but then as I got older, I started to realize a little bit more about that cartoon. And what the kid was really saying was there's this big orange orb that's going to show up in the sky. And with it, not so much it, will be whatever it is that comes and gives you all this good. So, in a way, he was telling you, Schultz, about this thing. Well, that's what that came to me about the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. As I got older, I began to realize that the Great Pumpkin was probably this orange dwarf star that's coming within our orbit. So now we're going to deviate from that. We're going to go into another one. This is what NASA actually talked about, put on the news, and I can't remember whether it's this month or next month, but there's going to be a little asteroid, but it'll be big enough to see, and it's going to park by the moon. And it's going to sit there for about a couple months, and then it's going to go away. Now, biblically, that's probably a sign. Like a watcher, comes and joins. The two wise men. I mean, I don't know. But that's just kind of my mind kind of goes with that. And the two wise men come and so there you go. You got this other little mini moon that they're going to call it, and it's going to sit there for a while. Then it's going to go away. Like it's going to go tell somebody, oh, there it is. But, but that's not what it is. But that's just my little analogy. So, NASA came up with that and told us this in regular news, and a lot of people don't have Facebook or have gotten away from Facebook. I do see a lot of things that are coming on, like on purpose, like a lot of things out here on the West Coast that have happened, and COVID and all this and everything else. It's almost like they want us to move off the coast. Now, on purpose or no, or whatever it is, something's like kind of tell people to move out of here. So with that said, between yesterday and today, the Salton Sea in California, Calipatria, had about 200 earthquakes. Now, yes, they're all 2.3s and this and that or whatever, but there was a 4.9, which is almost a 5.0, which should have been felt wherever that was. Lots of them. Because, see, one of the things that I used to talk about, which I didn't do this time, is that I used to be pretty high on earthquakes, CMEs, and there was a lot of things that I did back in my old YouTube days. CME earthquakes, coronal mass ejection, CERN, and then all this other stuff. Well, there was a coronal mass ejection that I didn't post on Facebook, and a lot of my friends don't give a shit about it, so I didn't. And sure enough, 2 to 3 days later, which is how long it usually takes, there was a pretty good sized earthquake in, it was a Ring of Fire. I'm going to forget where it was. Costa Rica, I think. And then today, there was another one, Ring of Fire 6.0. So the coronal mass ejection quake happened. And with that, my percentage is pretty good. I'm like 97.2%. And people go, well, and they say, well, you can't predict earthquakes. I didn't say I could tell you where they were, but I can give you a time frame of when they're going to be. If you can go onto Soho and watch Soho, it's a telescope that points at the sun, and you watch these CMEs come off it, you're going to see these flares come off, and you can gauge which way they go, and then say, okay, there'll be an earthquake here, or maybe you see it pop a different way, and so there isn't an earthquake. So either way, that's a way to do it. But I can't tell you, it's going to be here and it'll be then. So, with all this said, we're going to traipse back into another little thing that I had talked about a long time ago. Now, when I was a younger man, still a child, I actually got into all this stuff with Sitchin and all this stuff. And so I found out about asteroids, this or that, whatever, and realized that, and they had said that there would be this rock, wormwood, whatever it was going to come into the ocean, and it was going to pretty much come into the waters off of Greece and Italy. So that would mean there'd be a big earthquake or something like that would happen there, and a tsunami probably would be about a mile high, and everything would be lost. Okay? A lot of people don't believe in Zecharia Sitchin. They think he's full of shit, and he doesn't know what he's talking about. But the Sumerians, the Egyptians, the Mayans, they all have their stuff on their pyramids that are telling us, look, this is the kind of shit that's going to happen. That was the only way they knew how to tell us. 2012 was not the end of the world. A lot of us fell into that. I didn't think it would be the end of the world, and I still don't think the world will end. I just think there's going to be a lot of differences that come. Okay? So with that said, the other thing that I wanted to go into was 2012, again, I've said it in a few videos, where they discovered a system in space called Tau Ceti, and now there's a new constellation, forgot the name of it, and it's got something to do with like a snake. Okay? So that's kind of funny there too. Now, with that being said, we're going to drift off to the last part of this, and we're going to talk about controlled chaos. Now, controlled chaos is actually beginning to happen right now. Basically, this all started with a person who had someone put their knee in his neck and created all kinds of baloney here in our country. I'm not saying it's baloney. I'm just telling you of what it's made happen. So everything that old Mr. Colin Kaepernick started is 100-fold from then. And he wonders why he can't get into the NFL after all those years of being gone. First and foremost, I am not a racial person. I may talk about it, but I'm not. So one of those things I posted on Facebook this morning, which I took down because I knew a lot of my friends, liberal friends, probably would have been mad about, was you got to go look at it. There's this guy, a lot of people call him a wingnut, and always this and always that. But there's this guy, he's a black pastor. His name is Pastor Reverend Manning. Now there's a video that he did many years ago, like 8 years ago, or whenever Obama became president, and he talks about Obama. Now, I'm not talking about Obama. I'm just talking about the video and throwing Obama out of the video. I did this in my last video. And what he says is totally true. People are sick and tired of being told what to do. Do this, go here, go there. Oh, you can't do this. You can't do this. And pretty soon, as he said in the video, people are going to rise up. And he's going to join them. Yeah. Controlled chaos. Why? We're going to go all the way back to a video I did a while ago. And it was about Bob Fletcher. And that's another guy I bring up all the time. Bob Fletcher talked about a pandemic, controlled chaos, all this stuff that they got to do before all this other stuff happens. And you look at it, and there it is. It's right in front of you. But nobody believes it. It's happened. Pandemic, controlled chaos, boo-boo-doo, oh, Proud Boys, oh, Antifa. And pretty soon, as I told you before, it will not matter who wins this presidential race. Whoever wins it, the other side is going to be mad and they're going to create a lot of crap. Now, I know a lot of friends, oh, it'll be them Republicans. No, it won't, because guess what? Antifa isn't Republican. Antifa is gosh damn freaking liberal, freaking people that want to be able to pee in your yard and say that's okay. That's where it's going to begin. Then people are just going to defend themselves, and it's going to be this whole thing like Teeter talked about, which is what Sage Wanderer talked about. She doesn't know whether he believes in it or not. A lot of Christians don't believe in time travel. But the thing is, then the other thing is you have to harken back to Cain and Abel. Read the story. Why did they banish him? Oh, he killed his brother. Well, there was more to it. They think his mama might have fooled around and he was whatever, and they banished him. You know, other religions, Mormons, this, that. Oh, but they can't be elders in our church. Factions, other countries, same thing. And it's got nothing to do with the person today. It's just that the old biblical deal of it is where it is. Okay? So it's going to happen again. Is what's going to happen. And everybody, oh, you know, no. But unfortunately, things are where they are. So after I watched that debate, that puppet show, and realized that these two guys are both numbskull nitwits, after this again, as I say, I probably ain't going to vote again, and if I ever will. Because you got about 31 days, 33 days, 34 days, 33 days maybe, you know, wow, there's a number. And then, after it's all done, which you won't know right away because it's mail-in, the proverbial shit is going to hit the fan. By then, if you haven't gotten yourself kind of up and ready, you may not have a shot to do so. I got a couple things I really need to get done. Like I need to get my vision fixed, but I don't know how I'm going to do it in a month. Well, anyway, my friends, again, peace. I'll be seeing you. I'm rolling into work. You guys all have a really good day. Eyes to the skies, and tonight to this morning we had a nice orange moon, and I think that was to do with the fire or something. But whatever it was, that's what it was. And so I am going to be pulling into my place of employment, and I will see you guys later. And you guys all have a real good day. Bye-bye.